ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Thank you. Hello, Bill Wendell. And if I remember, I owe you one from yesterday. Hello, Bill Wendell again. That was for yesterday. Good to see you, friends. Welcome back to Tell the Truth. You know, kids today are a great deal more sophisticated than they used to be. They loll around reading Dostoevsky and the Wall Street Journal. Well, when I was about 10, my favorite pastime was reading about the Hardy Boys. Remember the Hardy Boy series? Yeah. Am I the only old guy here? Is that it? The Hardy Boys. Great books for kids. Well, we have the author of the Hardy Boys on with us, and we'll learn about him as soon as we see our panel here on To Tell the Truth. Here we go.
Bill Cullen. Peggy Cass. Gene Rayburn. And Kitty Carlisle.
Am I the only one who remembers the Hardy Boys?
Oh, no.
They all remember it. They just won't admit it.
Tom Swift?
Tom Swift and his electric yo-yo.
That's right.
All that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Gracious.
Hardy Boys.
Great books. Let us meet the man who wrote the Hardy Boys.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Leslie McFarland.
Number two.
My name is Leslie McFarland.
Number three.
My name is Leslie McFarland.
And here is the nostalgic narrative of Leslie McFarland. He says, I, Leslie McFarland, was the writer of the original Hardy Boys books. This most popular series of boys' books is in the same genre of mass-produced fiction as the Rover Boys, Tom Swift, the Bobbsey Twins, and Nancy Drew. The first Hardy Boy book was called The Tower Treasure. The second was The House on the Cliff. And in a period of 17 years, I wrote 19 more tales of Frank and Joe Hardy, the adventurous sons of an internationally famous detective. Boys all over the world love these stories. Translated into a dozen different languages, they have sold more than 50 million copies. That's 50, 5-0. If my name doesn't sound familiar to you Hardy Boys fans, that's because I wrote those stories under the pen name of Franklin W. Dixon, signed Leslie McFarland. Sure, I remember that stuff, and the Rover Boys too, and we'll be right back.
I love my funny bikes.
Having a set of custom wheels gives kids like me
And me the ability to do things we could only dream of before. Through your support of Wheels for Love, Shriner Children is supplying custom-built adaptive bikes and wheelchairs for kids who dream of their first set of wheels.
For us, the bike is one of the most incredible experiences. The very first moment she had success.
You're doing a great job. Jaden received his bike from Shriners. I almost started crying because I never thought my son would be able to ride a bike at all.
When you go online to loveshriners.org or call this special number with your monthly gift, you'll make a difference too. And help kids like us do things we never thought we could do.
When you say yes to giving just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a reminder of all the kids you're helping every day. Call or go online right now to give. You'll be making sure our amazing doctors and nurses can keep helping kids who need them now and in the days to come. Because of you, I get the most amazing care anywhere. I can play basketball.
I can play soccer because of your support.
Thank you. Your support has changed our lives. Your monthly gift right now at loveshriners.org makes moments like this possible for kids like me.
and me.
Thank you for giving.
Help a kid get their first set of wheels.
Let's roll. Join the movement.
Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, call again. Or go to loveshriners.org to give right away. Thank you!
Ooh, fun.
Yikes. The leaky refrigerator coil card. Is that bad? Oh, death! Death? Of an AC fan motor. Oh no. But your future is bright with an American Home Shield warranty to protect your covered appliances and home systems. Are there bees behind me?
My bees escaped.
Bill, we talked about this. American Home Shield. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Match game, match game, match game! Prepare yourself for the Man-Eater, the Swamp Slayer, the Fancy-Fied Funny Guy. You asked for it, and we got it. More matches than you can shake a blank at. A full-throttle 3-hour block of match game, match game, match game. Weekdays at 5 on Buzzer.
Now then, these three gentlemen across the way all say that they are Leslie McFarlane, who wrote 21 volumes of the Hardy Boys series. And let's start with Gene Rayburn.
A remarkable accomplishment.
Indeed.
Number one, I assume you got royalties.
No royalties.
No royalties, number one?
This was a job, that's all. Straight outright pay.
Who'd you work for?
A man named Stratemeyer.
Who was he, a publisher?
No, he was an entrepreneur. He had a whole series of books like this, Bobbsey Twins and many others, and he advertised for writers. I answered. I never actually met him.
Number two, did you write all the books, all the Hardy Boy books?
All the Hardy Boy books up to about the 1940s, yes.
And someone else started writing them, number two? Number two?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. And number two, I assume you got no royalties?
No royalties whatever.
Oh. Number three, no royalties for you either?
Flat rate.
I'm going to cry.
I've
50
cried.
million books. Did you cry?
I've cried.
If you only got a dime a piece, that'd be $5 million. Number two, did you write anything else?
Well, when you asked me did I write anything else, I am a writer, and I've written many articles for magazines and other periodicals.
Number three, are the Hardy Boy books still selling?
The Hardy Boy books are still selling.
Yes, he says they are, and we go please to Kitty.
Number one, how much were you paid as a flat rate?
$600 per book.
And number two, were you doing this on the side while you were doing something else?
Yes, I was.
What were you doing?
Well, I was writing for magazines and contributing to magazines and other periodicals.
I see. Number three, who published the books?
Grosset and Dunlap.
You ought to sue them now. Number three, what are you doing? What did you do since then?
Doing television work.
What kind?
Drama.
You were writing dramas?
Yes.
I see. And I hope you got a lot more money for that.
Indeed.
Number two, where do you live now? Excuse me.
I live in Bethel, Connecticut.
And are you still writing?
I still am writing.
Number one, are you still writing?
Yes, sir.
What do you write?
I write articles for the World Book Encyclopedia and whenever I can.
I see. Number two, how did you get the idea for these stories?
Well, it wasn't my idea. It was Stratemeyer's idea. And I saw an ad in the paper, and I answered it, and they selected me to do the series.
And number three, were you all these writers that he had in a sort of stable, were you all writing in the same place, or did you work at home?
Usually at home.
Number one, how long did it take you to write a Hardy...
I did one in 6 days.
No.
Good heavens. All right, let's go down to Bill Cullen.
There is a monumental inconsistency here.
All right, sir.
You said you enjoyed these books when you were a boy, right?
Yeah.
Well, none of those guys are old enough to have written those books if you read them when you were a boy.
No. The reason I enjoyed them, it was written in baby talk. he wrote them on a little teeny
Hey, look. Not that big. No, we're in the same age group. You and I. These guys got to be tremendously young. I mean, young looking. Number two, what was the Secretary Hawkins Club?
Secretary Hawkins Club?
Yes, sir.
It was an outfit that was organized to entertain secretaries.
No. I don't care if that's right or wrong. I love it, number two. Number three, does the name Roy Blakely suggest anything at all to you?
Not to me.
Number one, you got $600 for writing one of these books for this man. Now, did this man in turn publish them himself?
They were published by Grosset and Dunlap.
Number 3, did you ever do any work for the syndicate? By that I mean the entertainment syndicate that we hear so much about. As far as in your writing is concerned, number 3?
The Entertainment Syndicate?
Yes, sir.
I don't
Well,
know.
the various there's King Features and there's...
I don't think he quite understood the question.
Yeah.
But in any event, we got a buzzer. We're going on to Peggy.
Number 1, when you found out the Hardy Boys was going so well, why didn't you just do the old switcheroo and start one of your own called the Darby Boys, and then you would have gotten the royalty?
Well, I had lots of other articles and things being published, and this was a nice income, and it was the Depression, too.
I know, but the thing is 50 million copies. Boy, I would have done the switcheroo and no...
They never told me.
Now, number 3, does the fellow who did Frank Merriwell get royalties? Or was that the same sort of system?
What number, Peggy, please?
Number 3, the
That
Frank
was-
Merriwell books. Did that fellow get a...
Those were done, I believe, for Street and Smith, not for the same organization.
I know, but did one man write them and get to keep the money?
Generally, I think so, yes.
Thank you. Now, number 2, when you started writing the Hardy Boy books, how much was a copy?
How much was a copy?
Yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly, it was about $1.50.
And what are they now?
God, I don't know.
Number 1, who wrote Nancy Drew Mysteries?
Oh, my, we got ourselves a bell there, friends. Too bad. And in any event, you're going to have to mark your ballots according to what you've learned. And what have you learned? Is it number 1? Or is it number 2? Or is it number 3?
Whoa, now that's a smooth shave. You might think these guys had to pay top dollar for a shave that smooth. But they just used Harry's. With 5 blades that stay sharp, shave after shave, a lubricating strip with aloe, a flex hinge, and a trimmer blade, it's hard to believe refills start at just $2, half of what the other guys charge. Shaving with Harry's isn't pricey. It's just very, very, very smooth. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/smooth.
Explore the mighty Mississippi River with American Cruise Lines. Known for its southern hospitality, historical battlefields, and exquisite regionally inspired cuisine, the Mississippi River beckons exploration. Aboard the newest fleet of modern river boats in America, experience award-winning shore excursions, including New Orleans, Memphis, and Nashville. In your spacious stateroom, magnificent views await you from your private balcony, while our gracious onboard staff ensures that your voyage will be unforgettable. Begin your journey today with the leader in U.S. cruising. Visit AmericanCruiseLines.com or call for a free cruise guide. Small ship cruising, done perfectly.
Da Vinci gave me twice the pits and private parts, which makes me smell twice as bad.
A PU?
That's why I use Mando Whole Body Deodorant, the manly deodorant for all the manly crevasses of my manly body.
Mando, he smells good.
Mando doesn't just block odor all day. It controls odor for 72 hours with cologne quality scents. Roma wasn't built in a day, but with Mando, you can smell good for 3 of them. So if you want to smell better naked, then go to shopmando.com today.
We find out we're going to pay $50 for each wrong vote. We're going to pay $500 to the group if there is a stump. And Gene starts, please.
You marked my ballot incorrectly. This is not my week. I wanted to vote for number 3 because there was a tear in his eye when he said he cried and they got no royalties. And as I was thinking about voting for number 3, I said, gee, I'd certainly like to join number 2's secretary club, and like a dummy, I wrote number 2 instead of number 3. I still want to join your club, number 2.
All right, you may join, but you have voted for number 2, and we're going to Kitty, please.
I voted for number 1 because I think he looks like a writer, and also he said he's writing things for the Encyclopedia Britannica, and I think that would sort of,
World
in a strange
book, but
world book,
same idea.
It would follow.
All righty, and so we got a 1 and a 2. Bill Collins.
I still think that whoever this fellow is, he looks remarkably young. And again, I'm not kidding about you. But you know, Roy Blakely, they wrote a lot of books, Roy Blakely on the Mohawk Trail. And I think that one should know that. And Secretary Hawkins was a comic strip, and they did have a club. 2s and 3s, didn't know that. I voted for 1.
Pair of ones and a two, and Piggy.
Well, number 2 said that they were $1.50 when he, you know, Nancy Drew was only 50 cents, and although there were 2 Hardy Boys, I don't think it would have made that much difference in the price. So I voted for number 3.
That was before women's lib. The 2 Hardy Boys would make twice as much as Nancy Drew. But in any event, everybody has got 1, and number 1's got 2. Let's see what happens. The votes are in. Will the real Leslie McFarland please stand up, sir? And there he is. Good shot, Peggy. Thank you, Mr. McFarland. Be back to you in a moment. Number 1, sir, tell us about you.
My name is Frank Brainerd. I'm the general manager of Operation Sail, a maritime bicentennial project.
A great project. Number 2, can you tell me about you?
My name is Thomas Hochter. I'm a former airlines executive.
Oh, no. Mr. McFarland, did you ever get out of bondage? Did you ever get to the point where you received royalties, or did this cheesy arrangement continue throughout?
No one ever gets out of that sort of bondage. You continue it. You can quit any time. You're not under a time contract.
Well, it's with any help to you. You have given a great deal of joy to me and millions of other red-blooded young fellas like me.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, Mr. McFarland. I enjoyed I want to tell you, this next spot is one that really strikes home with me. Are you familiar with that funny feeling that you get if you're standing on the high diving board?
Yes.
Just before you go over, and you look down, and you wish you'd thought of something else to do that day?
Yes.
Well, I want to tell you, our next guest must have had the super-duper funny feeling when he made his world record dive. It was from a height of 155 feet. And we'll meet this aquatic wild man right after we have a few commercials.
Grandpa and I used to work on this together. I've never seen a man love something so much. And when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Seriously? Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. For as low as $199, you can quickly create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. 10 and 2, boss. Start your will at trustandwill.com and make it count.
Watch this. Witness what happens to this woman's bags under her eyes in an actual time lapse in just minutes. The problem will disappear before your eyes with a revolutionary topical formulation that works in just minutes, and the effects will last for hours. Over 1 million people are using this topical technique to visually reduce puffiness and bags, even fine lines and wrinkles on the face and forehead. Introducing Plexiderm. Jump on board and say yes to this amazing $14.95 Plexiderm trial. Order right now. We'll pay your shipping.
Are you or someone you love struggling with an addiction to drugs or alcohol and want to be set free from the chains of addiction? Then call Addiction Helpline America right now to get the help you need. From drug and alcohol addiction to dual diagnosis treatment, we provide a confidential helpline to help people like you get sober and live happy, substance-free lives. With one call, you can be on the phone with addiction specialists across the country who will guide you on the next steps to find the freedom and healing you desperately need.
Now let us meet our record-setting diver.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Mike King.
Number 2.
My name is Mike King.
Number 3.
My name is Mike King.
And here are the details of the dive of Mike King. It says, I, Mike King, hold the official world record for high diving. I dove from 155 feet, an altitude I could attain only by going up in a helicopter. Now here's a film of me leaping from the helicopter, performing a double reverse dive and plunging down into 8 feet of water and 3 feet of mud. Actually, I have made a higher dive than this. One evening, I plunged 220 feet from the 22nd floor of a half-built waterfront condominium. This dive was not considered a record because nobody saw me do it except one thunderstruck security guard and a few friends who came to watch all the fun. Now that I have established this record, I may try to break it by going to even greater heights. My ambition is to dive into the water from an airplane at the height of 10,000 feet. Signed, Mike King. And I can only say that these are three very normal-looking gentlemen, but one of them is certainly some kind of a nut. And now I'm going to turn this over to Bill Cullen.
Number 2, do you drink?
Occasionally.
Because I don't know anyone dove out of a 22nd floor, but I have friends who have done similar things, and usually that helped them out a little bit. Number 1, have you done any preparation for this 10,000-foot dive of yours, or is it yet in the thinking stage?
Well, I found that I've already gained the fastest speed I can go.
Number 3, do you know what terminal velocity is?
That's as fast as you can fall, depending on what position you're in.
Assuming, number 1, that you start off in the position you would start off in, how soon do you reach terminal velocity after you leave the platform or the helicopter or whatever? How many feet? Have you any idea?
Well, it's in a matter of seconds. It's according to the wind factor.
Number 2, is it not possible then, if you jump from an airplane at 10,000 feet, that you would not be going any faster at the end of that drop than you would be perhaps the first 200 or 300 feet? Is that
true?
So the interesting thing, number 3, would be your landing position, the way you hit the water.
Definitely.
Would you...
Peggy.
Number 3, don't do a belly flop. Number 2, how many miles is 10,000 feet?
Miles?
Yeah.
Not quite 2.
Well, you mean to tell me you're going to jump 2 miles from an airplane? And how deep do you want the water to be?
At least 15 feet.
And now, will you hit that water feet first or head first?
Feet first.
Well, now, number 3, if you hit the water feet first, does that really qualify as a true dive?
Well, to qualify for record, you have to do a revolution. But you don't hit head first, you hit feet first.
Oh, but I thought you had to land on your head when you dove. No? Well, I mean, when I was a kid and I was chicken, I'd jump feet first and nobody would ever count that as a dive. They were wrong, right?
Did you flip over?
Of course I didn't flip over.
It wasn't a dive.
Oh,
That's only in recent years that Peggy has flipped over. All right, let's go to Gene, please.
Number 1, are you in the Guinness Book?
No.
Why not?
It was never put in there.
Well, all world records are in the Guinness Book. And
Well,
number
this
2...
this was just made recently.
Oh. Number 2, when did you do your dive?
September 2nd of this year.
And you say you're not in the Guinness Book either?
I will be.
You will be. Number 3, where is this condominium that you jumped out of? What town is that in?
In Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Yeah. And were you under the influence of the juice of the grape at the time you went out the window?
No.
You were not? Yeah. Number 2, what is the importance of the landing at the moment of impact when you hit the water?
It's life or death.
What?
It's life or death
Yeah.
was the answer.
And number 1, how do you make sure that you land feet first? I assume you land feet first, right, number 1?
Yes.
And how do you make sure you do that?
Well, after you come out of the revolutions you do in the air, just before you reach the water, you try to get your arms into your side and be on a slight angle.
Number 3.
All right, and Kitty, you're next.
Number 3, what kind of a drive causes somebody to want to do this?
Well, to set the world's record is the main thing.
Are you a diver by profession?
Oh, definitely.
Number 2, are you a swimmer by profession and a diver?
Not by profession.
Well, what made you want to do it?
To promote the sport for higher diving.
Number 1, when you hit the water, you said you should hit at a slight angle. Do you point your toes so that you don't hit the flat of your feet?
Correct.
And supposing you hit the flat of your feet, would they burst? Would they bleed? What would happen?
You might lose a layer of skin.
Number 3, you dove into 8 feet of water from this great big dive and 3 feet of mud. Was that planned? You needed the mud to sort of
No, I didn't.
cushion?
I didn't hit bottom.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, number 2, how shallow do you hit when you dive that from such a height?
It depends on your speed, what depth you go.
Well, the speed apparently is always the same after a few hundred feet.
True. Depends on your height.
Oh, my. All right. We have got a bell, and we have got a puzzlement, and we have got a ballot, and we have got 3 numbers. Mark down one of your choice. Is it a number 1, Or is it number 2? Or is it number 3? Bill Cullen, if you've decided anything, I'd like to know about it.
Well, it's difficult because they all have great answers. But, you know, a thing like this takes somebody who has a calm, casual, almost offhand approach. And if I ever saw that kind of approach, number 1 has it. Although it doesn't rule out anyone else, it's just my thinking.
All right, so calm number 1 has got it. Peggy, who do you go for?
Oh, well.
Well, I mean, but who do you vote for?
I voted for number 1. He's nice and big and strong looking. He could beat the water.
Already, a pair of 1s. And Gene?
I don't think any of them did it.
What?
I'm not voting. But I'm not convinced that any of them did it. I guess they were all terrific. I'm 2 terrific imposters, and I voted for number 3 just on a hunch.
Well, all the stories on here are authenticated, so one of them did it, and we've got a 3 and a pair of 1s. And Kitty?
Well, we saw him do it. He jumped out of the helicopter. I voted for number 1 because he said that when he hits the water, it should be at a slight angle, and I think that's probably true. You'd get in easier if you went down that way with your pointy toes.
All right, apparently it wasn't as tough a decision as I thought. Everybody's banked up on number 1, except for 1 and 3 showing. Who's got the 3?
I got the 3.
You got the 3. All right, the votes are all in. Well, the real Mike King, please stand up.
Oh,
yeah! Good shot, guys.
Except for you. You got 1 all by yourself.
Good team. That's the way to take them. $500 you get as a group. Number 1 with 3 big votes. What's your real name? What do you do?
My name is Robert Tyler, and I'm a construction worker.
Uh-huh. Number 3, tell us about yourself, sir.
My name is Vernon Jernigan, and I'm a landscape contractor.
Mike King, the real one in the middle, you said that you are not a professional diver, not a professional swimmer. What is your occupation?
I'm a carpenter by trade.
Carpenter by trade?
I also teach skydiving.
You teach skydiving. Not to me, you don't. But we do hope, Mike, that when you make this 10,000 leap that you'll come back and see us again. We'd like to take another try at it. All righty, do come back. Take care.
At over $4 a blade, shaving every day gets expensive. Harry's 5-blade razor offers me a close, comfortable shave. Best part, refills are as low as $2 each, half of what I paid before.
Go to harrys.com/shave to claim your $7 trial.
Honey, you were so right. I listed this in less than a minute. I told you listing on Poshmark was quick and easy. Oh, I sold my black tote and my slip dress. Let's go get mani-pedis. Ooh, thanks, Mom. Thanks, Poshmark.
Want extra cash? It's easy with the Poshmark app. Download to start selling today.
This is a story about the one who keeps it all moving. He is measured, precise. He thinks ahead, stocks the right parts, and knows just where to find them. Because for the one, this facility is about more than business. The industrial grade products you need delivered fast. Call, click Grainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bill Cullen and I were talking about the theory of this thing of jumping out of 10,000 feet, and really in theory, you know, he was right. Once you have passed that, what did you call it?
Terminal velocity.
Yeah. You're not going to go any faster.
That's right.
Now, what was interesting to me in talking to him backstage, I said, you're going to try this 10,000 thing, you're not going to do it in 8 feet of water. What are you going to do it in? He said, one thing is I'm going to make sure it's a freshwater lake.
Ah.
And, of course, you know, the resistance in freshwater is much less than the resistance to salt water. If he hit into salt water, he'd really be in bad trouble.
You better use Lake Michigan so he doesn't miss.
Lake Michigan so he won't miss, so they'll know where to dive for him. Well, we'll see you later, friends. Take care.
This is Bill Wendell speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.